We're trying to pool resources. We're trying to make sure that nobody is forgotten, but it's definitely a challenge.
Washington small businesses are bracing for new coronavirus restrictions starting at midnight tonight and again tomorrow night. Today we bring you the latest on Governor Inslee's shutdown of Washington businesses. We'll compare and contrast the new restrictions to the shutdown last March. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Tom Sherry.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Whitney Ward. So let's get straight to that breaking news. Spokane Regional Health now reporting 942 new COVID cases from over the weekend. This is part of the spike that has now prompted all of these shutdowns. 425 new cases just on Saturday, then another 300 yesterday and 217 today. The good news is no new deaths have been reported. Currently, 81 people are in the hospital. So effective at midnight, new coronavirus regulations will go into place in Washington. Right now, most of the new rules will stay in effect until at least December 14th.
Governor Jay Inslee announced the changes in retail, restaurants, and other social gatherings yesterday. Let's break down the new coronavirus restrictions that go into place tonight. Indoor social gatherings are not allowed with people from outside your household. Outdoor social gatherings cannot be with more than 5 people from outside your household. Gyms and other fitness facilities will no longer be able to allow indoor workouts. The same restrictions on outdoor gatherings apply to outdoor fitness classes. Religious services will be limited to 25% of indoor capacity, but no more than 200 people are allowed. Choirs, bands, or ensembles will also not be allowed to perform during religious services.
Now, indoor retail is still allowed, but it's limited to just 25% of a store's capacity. And retail stores must close any common seating areas, and indoor seating at food courts also will be closed. Wedding and funeral receptions are not allowed at all, and the ceremonies are capped at just 30 people. Movie theaters are back closed again, along with indoor museums, zoos, and aquariums, though drive-in movie theaters are allowed.
Starting tomorrow at midnight, indoor dining will be prohibited, but to-go orders will still be allowed.
So these restrictions mean the future of Spokane's restaurants and retail stores is once again uncertain. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley is joining us now live in downtown Spokane with more on how they will likely be impacted here at a very critical time. Amanda?
Yeah, Whitney, Tom, businesses like Zola's here in downtown Spokane are making final attempts to support their employees who they may need to lay off because of Washington's new restrictions. Now, tonight at Zola's events, all proceeds will be given to their employees. Now, Greater Spokane Incorporated is trying to be optimistic about the future of Spokane's businesses, but they say it's not likely all businesses will survive a second shutdown.
Do you foresee another wave of businesses not being able to make it out of these next 4 weeks?
I think it's likely. I mean, certainly I can't fully predict that, but I think when we look at the realities of really the overall 8 months of the impact for these sectors on, hospitality and retail have been incredibly challenging. And there's a lot of relief efforts out there, yet at the same time, we know that much of the relief has ran out. And so some of the support systems that were in place for these employers the first go round are not there right now. And so without that, there's only so much that they're able to do, and whether or not they'll be able to weather this next round, I think we're going to see. But I think it's likely we'll see jobs impacted and businesses close.
As challenging as the next 4 weeks may be for Spokane's businesses, does GSI believe that this was the right move in order to ensure the safety and health of our community?
That's a challenging question. I appreciate it, though. I think we have to balance. We are seeing a significant uptick in COVID cases, not just here in Spokane County, but across the state. I think that one of our challenges is we sure would have preferred to see some changes or rollbacks that wouldn't have had such significant impacts to these sectors. Because what we know at the end of the day right now is that a lot of what's driving the uptick isn't in our businesses, it's in our homes.
Now, GSI's Alicia Benson did say, though, some businesses may be in a better position this time around because they can pivot back to their takeout strategy, something that a lot of businesses really didn't have in place the first time around. Now, tonight you can come to support Zola's employees until 11, but after tonight, they expect to be closed for at least the next 2 weeks. Reporting in downtown Spokane, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Well, the new restrictions are the most severe Washington has had since last March. That's when Governor Inslee announced his stay home, stay healthy order. But despite the case numbers now being even higher, the new restrictions are a bit less restrictive than last time.
So we want to kind of go through a breakdown now of exactly what is different about this order compared to what we had in March. So here's our political reporter, Casey Decker.
The basic gist is this. During the initial stay-home order, you weren't allowed to leave your home for almost any reason. Only a handful of essential trips were allowed at all, and the list of essential trips was pretty short. Shopping for basic goods, which did include ordering takeout, urgent medical visits, caring for family members, and some forms of outdoor exercise. That was it. Now you can do more. Rather than outright banning certain activities, Inslee decided to place restrictions on where and how you do them. For instance, you can still eat at restaurants, but only outdoors and with no more than 5 people. You can also attend fitness classes if they're outside and socially distant. Some types of social gatherings are okay this time. You can be outdoors with no more than 5 people. Or even indoors if everyone quarantines 2 weeks beforehand or 1 week if they get tested and it comes back negative. Elective surgeries and construction were both banned in that last order, but are allowed now. A big difference, school districts have flexibility to allow in-person learning. Movie theaters are closed like back in March, but this time there's an exception for drive-ins. Retail stores can open, unlike last time when only grocery stores and other essential services were allowed. The stores just have to make sure they don't go over 25% capacity. Personal services like barbers and hair salons can stay open, but they too must keep it to 25% capacity. And finally, many types of previously banned events are okay during this lockdown with limits. Weddings and funerals are okay with no more than 30 people, but no receptions allowed. Church services are allowed at 25% capacity as long as that means no more than 200 people, and choirs can't perform. And while most team sports are banned, there is an exception for pro and college teams that follow rigorous protocols. So earlier this year, the rule was you had to stay home unless absolutely necessary. Now you can do activities outside of your home, but there will be extra restrictions most places you go. Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
It's a lot, we know that, and now some leaders in North Idaho also say they are expecting people from Washington to head into Kootenai County in Idaho to enjoy fewer restrictions there. So you'll recall Idaho's governor just last week downgraded the state to phase 2 of its reopening plan. But unlike Washington, indoor dining at bars and restaurants is still allowed. In Post Falls, police have said they've seen people coming across the border to shop at local businesses. Some event businesses also reported increased interest from Washingtonians. While gatherings of more than 10 people are still technically not allowed in Idaho, city leaders, though, say they're still expecting some people to cross the border.
Where we are in Post Falls, we're going to always see some Washingtonians coming over, and now it's just a matter of what kind of an increase we'll see. So I would expect that there will be some, but I don't know to what extent.
Now, churches in Idaho are exempt from the state's current restrictions on gatherings, and the rules also do not apply to political gatherings. So as we said, we know this is a lot of information, and coming up here in the next few minutes, we'll bring you the latest on local businesses that are closing because of these COVID-19 restrictions. Also, for a full list of Governor Inslee's new restrictions, just text the word COVID to 509-448-2000. All right, we want to take a pause now and switch gears over to weather because, Tom, we're experiencing kind of a warm up here in this mid to late November period.
Yeah, I think we're going to get up to about 50 degrees tomorrow, even a little bit warmer than that. Right now we're dealing with a damp evening and we're at 40 degrees. I do think that the overnight lows, though, will stay above freezing tonight. We see a back edge of the rain. You can see that in western, southwestern Spokane County. All of that is tracking, that rain there is tracking from west to east. So I'm going to look for drier weather, but still damp weather as we continue continue into the evening hours, but we should see less and less rain. A lot of riding there, folks. We'll look for an overnight low of 30 to 36 degrees. And look at tomorrow, 54 the expected high. Mild conditions under mostly cloudy skies. Should be a dry day. So look for a high of 41 on the weekend, for Saturday anyway. Mostly dry and mostly cloudy. 41 degrees also expected on Sunday. I'll track the rest of your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. And we are continuing to track the latest on school changes amid this coronavirus spike. Coming up right after the break, we'll have the latest from the West Valley School District as they're making changes as to who can come back to the classroom.
And Tom's Turkey Drive is underway right now, and we need your help to feed 11,000 families, and we know so much is going on right now, but we wanted to share some good news. Some of our longtime donors are stepping up to give to Tom's Turkey Drive this year, and we couldn't be more thankful. This is amazing. Our friends from Gold Seal Plumbing give to the Turkey Drive each and every year, and they did not disappoint again. They have been collecting food and money for the cause. So we go to a quick break with a message from the good folks at Gold Seal Plumbing.
I'm Ron with Gold Seal Plumbing. I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and thank the community for the support in the Second Harvest Food Drive and Tom's Turkey. The response has been overwhelming. People are just donating like you would not believe. So once again, I just want to thank everybody.